Today, I come to you as a defeated man. Okay, Bills Mafia, I feel like I need to make a sincere apology. Okay. Throughout the past couple of years of my life, every single Bills game that I have ever been to in person, we have lost. In 2019, went up to Buffalo for week 4 against the Pats. We lost. I went to Jacksonville this past Sunday. We lost, and then a couple of games in 2018, which we ultimately ended up losing. Okay. Now, there's theories out there, Dan. You know what? It's all about your ballsy titles, if you will. And I think I'm starting to believe it. But I feel that the fact that I was there in person in Jacksonville was the reason that we absolutely just let out a big stinker against perhaps one of the worst teams in NFL history. Let's not even talk about this year, okay? There's no reason that this team should have lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars on Sunday at 1. It hurts. I'm not going to lie. I feel like there is not a single person that ever would have expected that the Jags were to go out there and actually beat us. And one thing I forgot to even mention in my post-game review, and this definitely upset me, was the fact that there was a cornerback on the Jags that said that he was on the Bills sideline at one point, and he was quoted in saying that he felt like that they didn't even care, that the energy on that side of the line was completely down in the dumps, 1,000% under the dumps, which in return makes me think, what the hell is going on with that locker room? Now, I have a scary theory. Okay, I have a very scary theory. As many of you know, our COVID list has been skyrocketing throughout this past week. It started off with Trubisky, then went to Jake Fromm. Both of them ended up being put on the COVID list. I believe there is one more as well. And then, legitimately today, Jake Kumaro, who was on the active 53 that day, on the sideline with a bunch of players, was added to the COVID list. My very scary thought, and I don't even want to put this out into the universe, bro. I don't even want to put this in the universe, is that a lot of dudes on that team are sick. And they just weren't themselves. They were just feeling like absolute terrible. You're telling me No. Hold on. Did somebody legitimately just come in here and say that Josh Allen ended up getting COVID? Let's see. There's no way. If that's the case, then I think I just actually legitimately saw my theory being proven on paper. Now, I don't want to see that. I want to see what people are talking about Josh Allen. So far, it appears that that is not factual, but still something to consider. I mean, we could all look back and we can all discuss, okay, what exactly ended up going wrong in that game. And I mean, really at the end of the day, yeah, so DJ, it's not true. Not yet. But I really think that there's just two main parties to blame here. Two main parties to blame. Number one, our offensive line, right? And there's a couple of reasons why I think that it's not doing so hot. It ended up doing decent, I guess, throughout the beginning of the year. Definitely not this past Sunday. The injuries to Spencer Brown, our rookie, he made a hell of a lot more of an impact on that line than we initially anticipated. With Feliciano being out, who hasn't necessarily had the strongest year so far. Having to move Darrell Williams over to a position that he is typically not used to. He does not perform well. He does not perform well at tackle. It showed. And then when it comes down to Deion Dawkins, who unfortunately was legitimately getting his lunch ate by Josh Allen, Jags Josh Allen, the entire time that we were there. Nick Robinson, new member, new member in the squad. Welcome to the Mafia, bro. I really, really appreciate that, man. Helps out the channel tremendously. But it's crazy. It is really crazy. As far as Deion Dawkins is concerned, we all know that he ended up having a terrible case of COVID, an absolute terrible case of COVID at the beginning of the year. It seems like that those effects are still pretty long term on the guy. It really does, because he is not the same player. I mean, I hate to be that guy to point blame, but I mean, if I were to look back on the Tennessee game, I would probably put that loss on Deion Dawkins' hands. I'd probably say he accounted for quite a bit of that loss against the Jags, not being able to keep Josh Allen clean from that pass rush, who outside of Josh Allen, Jags Josh Allen, it was absolutely different. It was absolutely different. Today, I wanted to sort of do a little bit of a therapy session, right? I have a buddy of mine. His name is Clay. He is a Panthers YouTuber. I wanted to bring him on, and I wanted to see if he watched the game at all and if he could give any type of objective opinion on what he thought went down. And then he's a Panthers fan, and he also ended up playing the Patriots. A lot of people have been talking about the fact that the Patriots are now the best team in the AFC East, of course, because we all know that big sports media is going to go on ahead and put whatever possible narrative out there to get clicks. But I want to hear it from somebody who actually has faced the Patriots so far this year, because I have not seen them. So once he comes on, I definitely want to hear his opinion, and we'll go on ahead and we'll take a deeper dive. But while we're doing so, I want to thank everybody for joining. 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock, nice little therapy session. Let's go on ahead and see who is in here. So Brian Buck comes in and he says that Dawkins is not pre-COVID-19 stable. I agree. I really, really agree. I mean, I feel bad for what he went through, but whatever he went through, it has some long-term effects, right? I mean, maybe it had to do with the limited snaps in the preseason, but I mean, at this point, can you even really give that, right? So, I mean, let's hope that he can get back into 2020 form, because it's absolutely a rough. Cody Ford was also somebody that I didn't end up mentioning in my review video, and right up until now, and so right up until no losses came in and reminded me of that. It was probably one of the, dude, if there was any question at the end of the year of, why was Cody Ford benched? We now know. We need John Feliciano back. We need Deion Dawkins playing at a higher caliber. We need to put Darrell Williams in his correct position. We need to put him on the interior. That's where he strives. That's where he is the best possible offensive lineman that we have on this team. If we keep mixing and matching, Spencer Brown coming back, we're going to be okay. The problem is that the trade deadline just ended up. So the trade deadline's over, right? And even if we were to try and make a trade, no team is going to trade away any type of like high caliber type offensive lineman. It just doesn't happen. They're so few and far between. They're hard to find. So we missed out on the trade deadline, even though we probably wouldn't have any luck whatsoever in it, even if we were to make a move. And then number two, there's not a single offensive lineman on free agency that I think would even be able to make an impact. We'd be able to throw in there and make an automatic impact. I could be wrong for sure. There could be like a sleeper. I'm pretty sure someone mentioned Mitchell Schwartz or something along those lines. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, who were to know that depth on the offensive line was so weak? And I feel like that it really didn't come into fruition until we had a couple of those injuries. All we needed was Feliciano and for Spencer Brown to go down, and our entire protection on our quarterback is crazy. And so this is a really good take, but I do want to shout out Ethan, the Great Gamer, for the $5 donation. Thank you, bro. You have no idea how much this helps out the channel. So I was mad we lost, but I think we're fine. It was just one of those games that make you a better team. Yes, that is not the best way for me to cope with it, right? It's so easy for me to sit there and just be like, oh my God, what's up with this team? What's up with this team? What's up with this team? Hear me out. I saw something earlier today. It was on Instagram. It was on Twitter. And what they did was that they combined the stats from where Josh Allen was in 2020 with the exact same amount games played as 2021, ladies and gentlemen, his stats are nearly identical. His stats are nearly identical. You know what that tells me? What that tells me is one thing and one thing only. It's not Josh Allen. It's not Josh Allen. It's either his protection or it has to do with play calling. It has to do with play calling on the offensive line at this point, or the offense, rather. Last year, everyone was hyping up Dable as a head coach. He seems nowhere to be found. Someone put an interesting take in there during one of my comments on my review video. Someone said that since Ken Dorsey ended up being promoted, he was now in charge of a lot of the offensive scheme. And they say that that might be the common denominator as into why the Buffalo Bills have been struggling offensively, particularly in the red zone. Last year, I mean, we were like a damn top 3 offense in the entire red zone. We're like staying away from it like the fucking plague this year. So, I mean, I'm like really curious to see how a lot of this has to, I don't know. So, Mr. Tyler Bass, look, Dable is trying to be a head coach, not a coordinator. I like that. So John Mitchell comes in. He says, Dan, a year ago today, you had half of your viewers. Good job. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I love making videos. I prefer making videos after a win, though, for sure. It's definitely rough for me to muster up the courage to go on ahead and actually get on in here when we lose, all right? Because I'm just so pissed. But, I mean, maybe that's just kind of how it works. Aaron Anthony comes in. Great take. Simple. We're not running the damn ball. Aaron, we're not running the damn ball. That is right. The problem is that you know that I'm a huge advocate for running the damn ball. The issue is that I'm afraid that we don't have the personnel, not only on a running back side, but also on an offensive line side. You look at an offensive line who has predominantly been a pass protection type offensive line. Our guys aren't comfortable with run blocking. And I'm not saying that if we were to go out and find a better running back that we wouldn't see any type of improvement, but I think it's a bit of a mix between the two, right? Zach Moss went out with a concussion on Sunday. Maybe if Zach Moss were to be in the game, maybe things might have been a little different because Singletary is not the guy, man. I'm sorry. I know a lot of you guys like Devin Singletary. He is just not the guy for me. He's not, man. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually ends up getting released. And so, I mean, wouldn't be surprised if he actually ends up getting released next offseason because he is not the guy. It's definitely something that we need to address. I mean, but really what I'm trying to get into right now is, yes, we lost. It was a very embarrassing loss. Am I going to sit here and look all of you in the face and say, I am concerned that we're not going to win the division? I am concerned that we're just going to absolutely tank the rest of the season? No. You want to know why? Because I'm not 12 years old. I know the Buffalo Bills are going to bounce back. We're going to go on a tear, in my opinion. This is exactly what we needed. We needed something in the back of our spines, right? Because, I mean, many people can say that, the Titans game was a lesson. I feel like it wasn't, right? Because the Bills, at least in my opinion, they wouldn't have put this out in the open. We walked away with our dignity. We were like a yard or two away from winning that entire game, but then we just lose to the fucking worst team in the league. That's a fucking lesson. That's a lesson. Ladies and gentlemen, as promised, I'm bringing on a good friend of mine. He's a Panthers fan, a Panthers YouTuber, and he is going to give us a little bit of insight on what the fuck is wrong with the Buffalo Bills and maybe even preview the Patriots, who we have still yet to face throughout the rest of the season. Clay, Rock Pantherology, what's up?
What's up, man? How's it going?
Dude, in the depression den, my friend. I'm not sure. When you called me a little earlier, it sounded like I was staring down a barrel of a shotgun, but I have, I bounced back. I'm back. I've gotten the courage to come back online and try and discuss some football.
Well, as a Carolina Panthers fan, I'm online all the time, and trust me, man, it gets to a point now as a Carolina Panthers fan, you can't get mad, depressed, or sad anymore. You just got to roll with the punches, and that's about it.
You're right. So I'm sure that you were probably really involved in your game yesterday, and I did want to talk about it Sunday. Rather, my days are just
you're good. No worries.
Definitely want to hear your thoughts on the Pats, but first off, I just kind of want to hear an objective opinion on like what the fuck happened with the Bills? What's wrong with the Bills? Should we be concerned or was this just a step back? Your objective opinion, someone who's not a Bills fan, someone who's not biased. As much as I try to say I'm not biased, I'm a fucking Bills fan. I love them. I'm always going to paint them in a positive light.
Right.
Give it to us straight, baby. Give it to us straight.
I just don't think that the Bills, I think the Bills rely too much, and I hate to say this, on Josh Allen. Here's the reason why I say that. There's no run game. Zach Moss and Devin Singletary have not been active, or what's it better, haven't had an impact in these games. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that you could definitely improve on as a team. Now you have a number one defense. You were going into this game as the number one ranked defense in the league. And as anybody knows, as much as I know how good defenses are, Carolina is top 5 in the league, at least, probably before that game on Sunday. But I think getting the run game, Jen, just takes a lot of pressure off of Josh Allen. Does Josh Allen really have a lot of pressure on him? Not really, because he's very good and he's an elite quarterback. Probably, in my opinion, as of right now, I think he's the best quarterback in this league.
Damn.
I honestly believe that. I mean, obviously you got Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes is good. Problem is they don't have an offensive line. They don't have a defense either. So that's why they're struggling this year, right? And then, injuries doesn't help anything. Injuries doesn't help anything. Your safety went out, and then your other corner went out, correct?
No, we were good. We ended up having
Zach
Moss go out with a concussion, though, unfortunately. And so Zach Moss went out with a concussion.
Well, that doesn't help either. And Zach Moss actually looked pretty solid there for a hot second.
It might have been different if you stayed.
Right. Exactly. And it takes pressure off of Josh Allen, but Josh Allen, excuse my language, fuck Josh Allen.
Which Josh Allen? Which Josh Allen? The Jags Josh Allen who broke my heart in Jacksonville?
Right. So, I mean, man, it is what it is. On any given day, anybody can beat you, right? But I'm not going to, I think this game was fluky. It's an interesting situation, y'all were coming into. I think that's, I think that really, though, the run game for y'all is just still something that y'all continue to struggle with. I think it's something that needs to be addressed. You need to figure out who your guy is. You need to have that guy that you can give 20 to 25 touches a game, and then have someone back him up and come in and, score a score on the goal line. I think that, Zach Moss is definitely that third down guy. I think he's your end zone guy. I just don't think Devin Singletary is that good. I just don't think Devin Singletary. He's not a first down. He's not a second down guy. Or what you need to do is do what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do, is use Zach Moss for the first 2 plays like they used with Leonard Fournette, and then go ahead and throw in Singletary on third downs because he can catch.
Yeah. So the problem is dude, our offensive line has even admitted this, that they said that last year in 2020, they were just so used to being an exclusive pass blocking first offensive line.
Right.
They admitted, they're when we call run plays, we're not used to that shit.
Right.
We're just not used to that shit. That's just sort of how it plays out. And I was legitimately, you legitimately took the words right out of my mouth. Right before you came on, I was legitimately lecturing everybody. Devin Singletary is not good. He's not a good running back.
Nope.
Okay. And I wouldn't be surprised if he actually ends up getting released in this offseason. We still need an answer there. Mm-hmm. We still need an answer. I think that we're good with that Spencer Brown pickup that we ended up having for offensive line. Rookie, tremendous, but he got hurt with a back injury. So we're waiting on that. But I like our chances because of our defense. I really, really do. I love our chances, right, because of our defense. They're going to be able to keep us into games. And honestly, if any defense holds a fucking NFL team to 9 points and we can't win that fucking game, it's crazy. And it's funny because Brian just came in with this comment. He says, "Is Dan drinking bleach?" You probably wouldn't be surprised if I was, bro. How depressed I am right now. No, this is water. No. This is water. Gotta
He
stay
threw,
hydrated.
he threw a Tide Pod in there.
Yeah. Fun fact: I'm actually going sober until Thanksgiving Eve. Okay,
There you go. Hey,
going ahead. I'm cleaning out the liver a little bit, and yeah, baby. So I mean, we'll be good. Plus, mostly because if I have any booze, I might just get sad about that fucking game and actually drink bleach. So, I mean, I can't do that. So that was great, Clay. I'm glad you came on. Okay, because your team played the Patriots last week.
Right.
Okay, get this. Okay, now I'm not sure about you, but I have refused to watch any type of professional NFL content since Monday because I know it's just gonna piss me off. I'm gonna watch all these.
You're gonna find something you don't want to watch.
Exactly, and put me in a way fucking worse mood. Okay,
Right.
Here's the narrative from what I have been reading, seeing, hearing through the grapevine. People are now trying to say that the Patriots are the best team in the AFC East. They have a real good shot of winning the whole division. Okay, so first off, I need to ask you, what did you see out of this Patriots team? Why did they beat you guys like that? Were they that good? Did the team just come out flat? What did you see from them that, as Bills fans, we should be concerned about this sort of switching up on us?
Well, why did they beat us? Because of Sam Darnold. That's why they beat us.
Sam Darnold.
But I'll be straight up honest with you, man. I've defended that guy for the longest time. You know me. I had high hopes for Sam even before he was even a Carolina Panther. I just think that it's now. I mean, obviously they just received word, and I actually put a video out today. He's getting an MRI on his right shoulder. So he actually has fractured his clavicle bone in his right shoulder or whatever it's called, something like that. But either way, he's going to be out for several weeks. Now we have to rely on PJ Walker. But this is what I saw.
Okay.
We're not sticking with our game plan. The coaching staff has not stick with the game plans that they've sat here and talked about. So that's a problem with Carolina, right? That's the problem. We're sitting here saying, well, we need to run the ball. We need to keep this going. And then, Sam Darnold's fractured his, right shoulder. So he's out for, a couple weeks. So, but we don't keep this game plan that we're going to run the ball and we're going to be known for running the ball. And we didn't stick to that. We tried to throw the ball, but obviously we had to throw the ball because we had no choice because we were so far behind. So at that point, your game plan changes once you're so far behind, you got your quarterback throwing interceptions. What I saw from the Patriots is after the second half, Bill Belichick made some adjustments on that defensive side of the ball. And he destroyed that defense. Just destroyed us. We couldn't run the ball, but we kind of just quit on it in the first place. We weren't really getting that far. I mean, Christian looked good. I mean, he looked okay. He didn't look like 100. Obviously, I don't think he looked 100%. So I think from the defensive side, I think that this team is very, very good. The Patriots definitely ran the ball a lot more than Mac Jones throwing it because most of their touchdowns came from either a pick six or them running the ball into the end zone. Except that one Hunter Henry pass that Mac Jones threw. I think the Patriots can make a run. I don't think they're the best team in the AFC. I definitely have them at number 2. I had them at number 2 when I looked at that division. I didn't think I knew Miami was good, but I didn't think that Tua is the answer there. Obviously the Jets are going to be the Jets. We all know what they're about, that we beat them in the first, week 1. So that kind of tells you where they're at. And then, now the Patriots are kind of making a run at it. When you have the genius in there, you can't really bet against them, right? So I honestly think that the defensive side of the Patriots is nasty. I think they have a very good game plan. They're going to have a good game plan coming into every game. They were fast. They reminded me of how we started out, like how fast our defense is. And I mean, our defense is fast still, but there was a lot of dirty plays going on in that game.
Yeah, I saw about that Mac Jones shit.
Yeah, I mean, and he grabbed Brian Burns' ankle saying he was trying to make a tackle. You're trying to make a tackle from the ground, bro. How was that a tackle?
That's dirty
Yeah.
shit.
So I don't understand that. And he's twisting the dude's ankle. He's got like it locked in, like he's fucking Kurt Angle's just sitting there fucking,
Yeah.
giving the ankle lock. But so I think that the Bills, honestly, though, from watching this game, I don't know what's going on at your left tackle side, but it wasn't whoever your left tackle is, because I don't know your team that well, but he couldn't stop Josh Allen to save his ass.
It's Dion Dawkins.
Well, Dion Dawkins you might be needing to look for a new left tackle.
See, the problem is that we actually ended up giving him a pretty healthy extension this past offseason. Yeah. And he ended up getting COVID in training camp, and apparently he got it bad. He was hospitalized and shit. So, I mean, a lot of us are asking, I wonder if he's still feeling like those long-term side effects. I wonder if he had something like that that's just causing it, because he was a huge contributor to us losing that game on Sunday.
Yep.
Huge contributor to us losing that game on Sunday. He is also the main contributor as into why we lost the game against Tennessee, because he blew that block where Josh Allen could have easily snuck it over. Yeah. And then he could have bought us a 1st and goal with, like 7 seconds left. So, I mean, that's going to be something that we need to, sort of keep a giant eye on. How was the Pats pass rush?
Very good.
That's what I'm worried about.
Well, that's the thing. They're very good. Like I said, they're fast. Judon has had.
He's been having a season.
He's been having a season. And everybody thought that this guy was trash and he wasn't that good because he was at Baltimore and he didn't do that great. Then he comes into the Patriots. But see, here's the thing, man. Bill Belichick and Sean Payton that's the reason why these guys are so good. They're the best coaches in the league. They can get these guys mentally and physically right, and they can teach them the game, and they can teach them tricks, and they work with them, and they know what they're doing. And that's the reason why, like, you see guys like Judon, and then you look at Jameis Winston, for instance. Like, obviously, Jameis wasn't having the greatest season, but he looked a lot better than he has in the past.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why you see guys like that. But yeah, from the defensive side, they're very, very good. And their corners, they're tough. It's going to be tough to get the ball out of Josh Allen's hands. You're going to have to do quick, short passes, dink and dunk, pound the ball with Zach Moss if he's available. If he's not, you better even just run Singletary at least just to get some run game at least going a little bit, and then open it up with the pass. Because if you don't, they're going to be all over you like water on rice, and they're going to do the same thing that they did to us, and they're going to pound the ball on the offensive side. Then they're going to take Mac Jones down there and either do a dink and dunk pass to Hunter Henry or a tight end, or they're going to pound the ball with Bolden or Stevenson, and then that's what's going to happen.
So that was going to be my next question as well. I've seen highlights of Mac Jones. How is he?
He's all right. I mean, he's solid. He doesn't turn the ball over. He's smart with the ball. I'll give him that. He's very smart with the ball. I mean, we had one interception on him, but I just think that, I see people in here call me a clown and saying 5-12. Tell me something I don't know, guys. Tell me something that I don't already know.
No.
But if you're asking my opinion, Dan, I'm giving it to you. And I mean, some of your Bills fans aren't liking it, but what do you want me to do? I'm giving you what I think. I don't think the Pats are better than the Bills. Nobody's saying that. I just think that right now you're going to have to be careful after coming off that loss. But the good thing about you coming off a loss like this, it could light a fire up somebody's ass.
Yeah.
And then you could come in there and do some work.
Yeah, well, I mean, luckily, I'm pretty sure that the 5-12 was just directed. We got a troll in here saying that the Bills are about to just go 5-12 throughout the rest.
Aren't y'all already like 6-3 or whatever?
We're 5-3.
Oh,
5-3. We had a bye week.
Right.
I mean,
right.
There's things that, and so I mean, there's definitely things that make me feel optimistic. Just because, like, earlier today, and I'm not sure if anybody saw this, but I saw, and so a stat by stat comparison of Josh Allen in his first 8 games in 2020 and his first 8 games in 2021,
Yeah.
yo, his stats are the same, like exactly the same.
Mhm.
Maybe off a couple of yards based off of, I would say his passing yards. So Josh Allen ain't the problem. So I mean,
Mhm.
anyone that can even look me in the eye and say that, oh, it was because of Josh Allen, no, it's not because of Josh Allen. Okay, I know that he threw those 2 dumbass interceptions. It's how it is. But I mean, let's just talk about that. Our offensive line was essentially just like fucking lining up and second the ball snap. They're like, there you go, dog.
Yeah.
There you go, dog. Go get him. There's our guy. You know what I mean? Like that. That's basically what it fucking looked like out there,
Yeah.
which
I
is
I think
crazy.
I think for y'all how you started out the season and stuff like that, I don't think it's time to panic right now.
No, I
But
mean,
if you do lose this game,
go to the Jets.
well, if you lose to the Jets, then you might want to panic. But if you lose to the Pats,
Yeah, I will. I
yeah.
will, dude.
But if you lose to the Pats, I wouldn't say it's time to panic yet. But if it's like if you lose to another team that's around the Jets or the Jaguars, then you might want to figure out what the hell's going on. But I mean, listen, man. It's just like any other sport, man. And I still believe this to this day, being an athlete of myself, you know, I believe that you can beat anybody on any given day,
Yeah, I agree.
and that's just what it comes down to, and the play calling and the coaching and the game plan that you come into every game in and game out.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, dude, like this week in the NFL was fucking weird, bro.
It was weird, man.
It was
I just couldn't
weird.
believe a lot of the stuff. And like, did you I mean, it's like watching the Chicago game and the
Yeah.
guy like bumped into the ref, but it wasn't even him that bumped into him. Like you could see like the ref like swinging a hip and the guy like calls a freaking taunting call. Like the worst call I've ever seen in my entire life. So I've seen some crazy stuff this weekend. If I was a bet man, I wouldn't have thought that the Bills were going to lose to the Jaguars. I would have thrown 100 on that game if I would have, if I thought, the Bills are playing the Jags. I'm like, easy,
Yeah.
100, right?
Yeah. Whatever it is. Yeah. Whatever it is. Say that Christian McCaffrey gets invited or anybody from the Panthers gets invited to go on the Manning cast on Monday. Don't. Don't. Don't go on it. The curse is for real, man. Every
Mm-hmm.
single special guest of an active player that's been on the Manning cast,
Mm-hmm.
that next week their team has lost.
Mm-hmm.
And not the teams that you could be like, oh yeah, damn, that's gonna be a close game. Like it's been like shoe-ins and they've all lost. In fact, I was wondering who the guest was last night for the Manning cast. I didn't watch the Manning
I
cast.
didn't get to watch. I didn't watch much of the
Regular.
game, and I didn't get to watch. I really didn't watch. I didn't really care about that game, so I didn't really watch it, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. And so the Broncos game for the Cowboys,
That was weird.
that was fucking weird. That was really weird. And Ryan was mad at me too, because I mean he was just like, dude, and so I knew I should have stayed home and not been with here because our boy is a Cowboys fan and he was with me at the game and we were watching the game and his team was just getting blown out by the Broncos and he was completely in a terrible mood. But no, I mean, there's like several curses that have gone on to it because number one, the Manning, and then number two, me actually going to a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me
Yeah.
going to a Bills game, we fucking lose, bro. Like, I mean,
Right.
I'm like a 0% winning percentage in my
Yeah.
entire life. Every single Bills game I've ever been to, sat in the stadium, lost.
Yeah.
Every single one. So I promise everybody that I will stay as far away as possible, from our 52-man roster, no matter where we are. Okay. Say that the Bills are ever in Charlotte, I'm going to drive 300 miles south. Okay. And then watch that game. The closer I am, the worse it absolutely is. Have you been following the OBJ news?
Not much on it. I just know that there's a lot of people that want him. I've heard that the Rams want him bad.
Yeah.
I know that's what I've read. There hasn't been much really. I haven't really read much on it. I know that the Rams want him bad, but there's obviously since he's being traded, I've also heard that the Seahawks want him and then the Packers want him as well. So there's a lot. I mean, obviously there's a lot of teams that want him. He's an elite receiver when he's healthy.
You
But
think so?
I mean, I think he's an elite guy when he's healthy. I mean, if you could bring back Odell from the Giants days, absolutely. But
Yeah.
that's if you can get him for the Giants days. But as of right now, from what I'm reading on this article right now, the top 3 that look like that might be getting him is either the Packers, the
Yep.
Saints, or the
the
Seahawks.
Patriots. Really? And so I
Mhm.
read the Patriots.
Yeah, I don't see the Patriots snagging him. I just don't. I don't know why. It's just because like every time they talk about getting a big name wide receiver, the Patriots never do.
Yeah. And so for except that Antonio Brown thing that lasted for about like 3 seconds.
Before he
But
started beating the crap out of
yeah,
everybody
yeah,
and
like yeah.
and threw the
Or
UPS
calling the
man off
GM
his
a
porch.
mayonnaise boy or something, or calling the GM a mayonnaise boy and beating the shit out of a delivery driver or something like that. But no, I mean, and so my buddy Tyson, who runs Master at Work channel and stuff like that,
Yeah.
like, I mean, he's been talking about it all day. And I mean, all of a sudden I was like, bro, I'm not scared of that bum. Listen, let me
Yeah.
tell you what. I believe OBJ, top 5 most overrated players ever to play the game. I think his career was based off of that one free catch in New York. Never been the same. Never been the same. I wouldn't
Maybe
be scared
you're
at all.
probably right with
OBJ came to
how many injuries he's had. How many
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can agree with that just because of the injuries, but I think if you want to, I think he's an elite. Do I think he's a top 10 wide receiver right now? No. But or in the league, or do I put him in the top 20? Maybe. But, you know, he's had so many injuries. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say that he's like best of all time or whatever. But what I'm saying is when I said he's an elite receiver, when he is elite and he's healthy and you can bring back that Odell from the New York Giants, then we'll talk. But I think it also has to do with the fact that where he goes. And if he goes where Aaron Rodgers is and you got Devontae Adams and OBJ on both sides, that's scary. That's scary.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's better than what they have right now. I mean, they have Nelson Aguilar. So, I mean, with OBJ really going up back to the Pats, I think that that's a good fit objectively. I think that they would have an improvement over what they currently have in that receiving room. But, I mean, this is me
Oh,
just.
yeah, to the Patriots, but I was talking about the Packers. I'm saying if you have Devontae
Oh, yeah,
Adams,
the Packers would be sick.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't see him going to the Saints because you got Jameis Winston out and he ain't going to want to go there right now. That man wants to win a ring. His best bet's probably going to the Packers right now.
Yeah, for sure. So I got a kid named Chris W. Who I'm pretty sure I went to elementary school with. Says, yeah, the Bills lost because the real Dan Mitchell goes to a few games a year. Could this podcast be any more narcissist? Maybe it was horrendous O-line. Yo, bro, listen, I'm not sure what you're going through these days, but whatever you are, man, I hope that you figure it out, dude. I hope that, like, you can talk it out in therapy and then you won't project your own insecurities on somebody online. But okay. Anyway, Clay, listen, dude, I'm going to go ahead and cut this live stream off real fast. But right before we go, definitely a lot of people are super happy about you joining. They loved your takes based off of the chat. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you so they can fuck with your content, baby?
Yeah.
And so I trained this guy.
Yeah. So you can find me on YouTube. Just type in Pantherology. If you don't know how to spell it, then you look up ology and then look up how to spell panther.
Beautiful. And,
and
so
then
if you know how to spell panther and ology,
yeah,
fucking good.
Yeah. And then if you want to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you can follow me at Ropstar92. Both of those names work great.
Yeah, most definitely. He puts out really good content on the Panthers, and we're playing the Panthers this year. Okay, we're playing the Panthers this year.
Week 13, so. I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Yeah, we will see. Also, guys, right when it comes down to it, I want to go on ahead and I want to say thank you because I just surpassed 13,000 subscribers. 13,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. What a journey. Who were to ever think that people, 13,000 of you fools would tune in to me on a regular basis. I appreciate it. I love all of you equally. And let me give you one other thing. Bills fans, the sky is now falling. If we lose to the Jets, the sky is fucking falling. Okay. I'm going to be running around here like, who knows? I might need to start going to therapy as well with Chris W. Okay. So let me know how that works. Okay. But anyway, Da Mafia, love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and put out some content probably tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, since I've sort of been on like a sober spree, I'll be a bit more,
Yeah,
and so
you need to
and
get
so I'll
back
be a bit
at it.
more productive.
They're waiting for you, man. They're waiting for you.
Yeah, dude, Brian Buck comes in. Actually, Clay, this is funny because I need your help with this.
Okay.
Tell me about your garage plans before you go. Brian Buck, yes, he was the guy that ended up sending me a bunch of information. For those of y'all who don't know, I bought a house and I've always had a dream of turning my garage into a fucking bar, like a dive bar, right? So my buddy's parents, they have a bunch of shit in storage and they have like this giant already pre-made bar. It's supposedly super long. Go ahead, just roll it into my garage. And then from then on out, I'm putting like 2 TVs up there. I'm decking it out with like bills. I'm putting up a pool table in there and everything along those lines. I'm taking whiskey barrels and using them as like actual stand-up tables. It's going to be fucking sick. I'm going to do a video revealing everything and I'm going to start doing my live game reactions in there. I'm supposed to pick up the bar this week. Clay, you don't have your truck anymore, do you? Or do you?
No, I don't have my truck anymore, unfortunately. I'm sorry, buddy.
Okay, we need to find a box truck. We need to hit up Austin with a box truck.
Yeah, we can do that. If you need me to help you put it in, I'll help you.
It's good friends. That's good friends right there, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, the sky's not falling. The Bills will bounce back. And I promise you, no more cocky video titles.
Oh, Dan, can I just say one thing about that sky falling?
Talk to me.
Mine hasn't stopped.
Yours hasn't stopped. Yours hasn't stopped. My next video title for my preview to the Jets is going to be the Buffalo Bills could / hopefully will beat the New York Jets. That is going to be legitimately.
Don't even do that.
Buffalo Bills should and could and hopefully will beat the New York Jets.
Just put Buffalo Bills preview and prediction versus the New York Jets.
It's not my style, dog. It's not my style. I'm not vanilla like that, dog.
I hear you.
All right. Anyway, guys, go Bills. If you got here late, feel free to watch the replay. Had some really good conversations about why we don't need to panic. And we even talked a little bit about the Pats and whether or not that we should be working on it. Clay, thank you so much, dude. Mafia. We'll see y'all.